welcome. This is our reception, June 1st, 2012. You're at a beautiful barn-like building called the Pavilion at Orchard Ridge. So please enjoy the party.
Hey, Josh Joyce, you all know me. I am selling my soul away today to Nicole, and I love you very much. The better driver, Nicole has had quite a few accidents in her life. Everything from running into a stationary wall going 75 miles per hour to, cutting people off. I'll tell you a little story to show who the better driver is. I am on the phone with her and she's calling me hysterically, and she says, I just ran off the road and almost spun out. And I said, why, what happened? And she goes, oh, I was playing draw something and I almost crashed. And I said, okay, so that would display who's the better driver, because I like to just cruise at a standard speed and she likes to go fast, if you ask her. So
Okay, so I would say Josh is the better driver. Only because he's safer and doesn't really like to go fast, and yeah, that's probably why he would be the better driver. Nice. But he doesn't usually know where he's going, so that's different.
The better cook. Now, she'll, when you get to her part, she's probably going to tell you she's a phenomenal cook and she can make anything from scratch, but that's not the case. She doesn't know how to cook very well.
Really good at just like, oh, what do we have in the kitchen? Throw it together and make a delicious meal. I think he would say otherwise because he doesn't usually like my cooking, but I'm a really good cook and almost everyone will disagree with him.
She has some really good dishes. Her favorite is tikka masala. It's an Indian dish. It's phenomenal. And I love you for that. It's very delicious.
In Josh's opinion, that would be tikka masala. He thinks that is the only meal that I can make well. It's probably the least healthy meal you could possibly have, considering how much whole cream is in there, and it's very unhealthy, but he loves it. I get sick of it because he always wants it. But
there's not enough cookbooks to help you out. I'm sorry. The worst meal she ever made was recently. She was trying to do like a fish and dill and lemon fish, and she took flour and just, I think she was kind of trying to fry it. I'm not quite sure. You're going to have to ask her what she was trying to do, but I think she tried to pan fry it, but she didn't ever cook the flour, so it was like eating sushi wrapped in flour. It tasted like chalk, so it wasn't very good. But again, she's working at cooking.
I've been making some pretty good meals lately, I will say though. Well, I wouldn't say worst meal. I mean, that he cooks consistently. He made this jambalaya once, and I mean, it was good, but it had everything I hated in it, so I'm not sure why he made that for me. It was Mardi Gras or something, I don't know why. But there was this one time that he was making a dish, and it called for white wine in, like, it was like shrimp and everything. It called for white wine, and he put white vinegar instead, which is really not like white wine at all, and probably wouldn't taste quite as delicious. So he really butchered that meal quite well, I would say.
Organization skills. She's probably more organized when it comes to everyday life, and I kind of keep it all together, if that makes sense.
I'm definitely more organized. He is a hot mess, and the house, I mean, he's not been keeping it organized, and whenever I come over, I have to take everything out, like the basement. He just organized the basement, but really what he did was he put all this crap on shelves but he didn't actually do anything with all, like, it's not organized. So there's tools over here, then there's tools over here, then there's Christmas stuff, like, in all these different places. So I had to go through, take everything off the shelves, put all the Christmas stuff in one area, put all the tools in another area, put all his old, you know, collection, what are those, baseball and basketball cards in another section. So just keeping things organized, sometimes it takes me a while to get things organized because there's still some stuff off the shelves in the basement, but I think I would definitely say I'm more organized.
I thought she was a big flirt. When I first met her, she had a boyfriend, and he was kind of a different person. And we flirted a lot for the first year, and then, you know, I thought she was super sweet and very motherly-like. You know, she, even with all the boys, she was always trying to take care of them and, you know, make sure they were okay, and I thought it was very sweet. And she has this way of smiling at you, and she just glows up and gets super excited. And those were my first impressions.
I first thought that he was just like someone fun to hang around, but definitely not someone I would date, definitely not someone I would marry for sure. Probably just he was like good friends with my good friends, so I trusted him a lot. I had a lot of fun with him when we did hang out in the same group of friends, so that was really all he was, to be honest. Initially, obviously. Me, for sure. If I know, like, directionally which way I'm heading, like north, east, west, south, I can get anywhere. Like, don't ask me, oh, do I go left or right at the corner, because I will say the wrong thing, but I will say, like, oh, go west. And then we have a great idea, like, this is perfect. But I am, like, really good at, like, okay, here we are, we need to get to this point, this is the best way, this is the direction we're going, and I can usually find anywhere that I'm trying to go by using directions, not left or right, because I get those confused sometimes.
Nicole, after 24 years of her life, cannot, she can't figure out her left and her right. And I'm going to ask you to test this. When you tell her to go to the bathroom or, you know, take direction to say, do I make a left or right there? She'll sit there and she just is like, she'll hold her hands up like there's something wrong with her. And she'll be like, she doesn't know her left and right. So how we communicate when we're driving is north, east, south, west. You know, it's cool. She's got a good sense of direction, but I feel bad for a stranger because it would be like military coordinates to a destination.
Vodka tonic, for sure. Something fruity, like Sex on the Beach is delicious. Basically anything with grenadine, orange juice, pineapple juice, juices in general, mixed with a schnapps of sorts, is probably the best drink choice for me.
Sex on the beach. Wink, wink. No, she likes anything that tastes like fruit juice. That would be pineapple juice, grenadine, and about that much vodka. And then she feels it, she turns bright red, and her thighs stop moving because she can't function after half a sip. So that would be the first drink. She'll know this from vodka tonic. Vodka tonic. Okay. Well, one of our first dates, and it wasn't really a date, was it was my sophomore year in college, and she was really sick, and you know, we haven't started dating at this point. We just started hanging out, and she called me, and she was really sick for like 6 months. She had horrible sinus infection and something, you know, in her lungs that was she was sick for 6 months straight. And you know, I told her, hey, I can bring you some soup. You know, she didn't want to go out, so she's like, no, I'm not quite sure if I want you to come over. And later I found out she was texting her mom that she did not want me coming over at all. And she thought I was going to bring, she lives in a dorm, okay, and she thought I was going to bring her canned soup. Where do you cook canned soup? You know, you don't have a stove in a dorm. So I went to Baker Square and I went to Walmart and I got her like 5 bags of different flavored cough drops. I got her Baker Square soup, and I brought over a bunch of movies, and it turned out that she really liked it. So that was my first date, if you will, with her.
He did bring me soup one. I was like really sick a lot. I'm pretty sure it was from like living in the dorms because there's like asbestos in the walls, I swear. But I always had a sinus infection. And he was like, oh, I want to come over. And I was like, and we'll watch like a movie. And I was like, that's a really bad idea because I don't feel good. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll bring you soup and cough drops. So in my mind, he's going to bring me a can of Campbell's soup, which I hate, and like cough drops, which are disgusting. And then we were like gonna watch a movie or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But he actually went out to like Baker Square and got me this like really good like tomato bisque type soup. It was like really, really good soup. And then he brought like 5 different flavors of cough drops. They were all good flavors, and they were like filled with honey instead of that gross stuff in the middle. And I was like so impressed with that. That was like probably our first, because like before that we always hung out with friends, so I think that was our first interaction, just the two of us. And yeah, that was really, I guess, our first date, if you want to call it that.